Welcome back to Two Homers and a Realist. It is official. We're in the playoffs. We're a playoff team. It is a playoff team.
First time
we're talking playoffs.
2019.
Yeah, playoff baby.
Crazy.
It's awesome. I'm Steve.
Lucas.
Connor.
So it is just it's hard to grasp exactly what's going on. I think it's going to start to sink in as that game really gets closer. We're a week and a half out, but the atmosphere is really starting to percolate with it. You see changes in school schedules, work schedules, community changes. They've canceled classes at Norman schools. They'd already canceled classes at the private school. OU canceled classes or whatever. They didn't have classes. It was the last day of finals.
Move finals.
So they crunched them up, I guess.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what that's going to do to housing because you got to be out of the house supposedly within 24 hours of your final. So I guess,
good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, but it's exciting. Weather is improving. It's looking warmer,
something like that. That's a high.
Yeah, something like that. And just like we've avoided this like polar vortex, whatever.
You can't trust them this far out.
We can't trust them. They can't trust them. But we'll see. It's just exciting. It's awesome to be there. Not everybody can say that. Poor Texas, poor Notre Dame. Let's talk about all of that. Let's talk about where they went wrong, where they went right. Just give me your initial thoughts, guys. We're in the playoffs.
I mean, we were talking about it before the podcast. I think this for this podcast group, since we've been doing this for 5 seasons now, right? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This season, biggest thing to happen to us by far to the program. Best thing.
Biggest best thing.
Lincoln leaving, to Lucas's point before the pod, was a huge deal. I unfortunately was not a part of that podcast. I was a little bit disabled there. But this is, if you would have told us at the end of last season, and we've talked about it and we fantasized about it and we predicted it on occasion, but that OU's hosting a playoff game, and I want to go back and listen to those podcasts of us just kind of dreaming about that, saying how amazing would it be to host a home game in Norman in mid-December, and here we are. So I couldn't be more excited, and I think pointedly I couldn't be more proud of kind of what this season turned into. A lot of people using that word, but I am. Like, this team has done an amazing job of keeping its head above water when times were bad, and we kind of get to reap the rewards here.
I'm excited, probably not as much as these two guys. It's still 9 days away.
You don't have the countdown clock on your phone?
No,
I do. Like down to kick off.
Sure by Thursday I'll be getting more pumped about it of next week.
You've also been sick.
I've been sick. Yeah.
Poor guy.
The uncertainty of what happens next is what keeps me from getting too excited, because this is a team that we just beat like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and ever since we've beaten them, they've kind of fallen apart. They, almost lose to Auburn. Still, I don't know how they didn't drop in the playoff.
We'll talk about that.
9, we'll talk about that later. Was crazy to me. I thought for sure we were getting either Notre Dame or Miami, but them getting absolutely dominated by Georgia, barely hanging on the second half against Auburn,
and then getting credit for that though.
Yeah, and getting
playoff committee gave
they were like
credit.
First half, they were really good against Auburn.
Right.
I'm like, what? A team that is on their backup quarterback and doesn't have a coach. And
there was a game going into late fourth.
Yeah, you're talking about, they had
they basically had to make a call to go for 2,
right?
Which was a questionable decision, versus you're going to tie a game and give the ball back to a team who could be driving to beat you either way. That's a good performance.
So as a realist, I'm more nervous, anxious about the game than excited, because we have a team in front of us that we should beat. Whatever, I know the line I think has changed. We're the underdog now. It's pick them to one in our favor.
Yeah.
But this is a team we know we can beat because we just did it. I just don't want to have a letdown, because I'm to the point where, looking at how the bracket did line up, even though Indiana beat Ohio State, I think
that's who I'd rather
if we get to the next round, I would rather play Indiana just solely based on athletes. I think the coaching is better to Indiana than it is to Ohio State, probably.
Yeah.
But as far as what we've recruited into here and what they've recruited, we have to have better athletes.
If you want to have, yeah, go ahead.
And then that just sets up. I mean, then you start thinking, oh, is this magical run? You know, you beat Alabama, you beat Indiana, then you're lining up against Tech or Oregon.
Yeah.
I like our chances against Tech. Just I mean,
agreed.
Another athlete situation.
I agree.
But then I start thinking, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. We got to beat Bama.
Be the homer, dude.
Yeah,
because
go down that.
Everybody
do it.
Beat us over the head. Well, they had 3 turnovers and blah blah blah. They outgained you 400 yards to 200. Blah blah blah, and they did. But when the game was on the line, we came up clutch, and they didn't. And we were in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
Getting them at home is to our benefit. And hopefully something has changed offensively between the last time we played them and this time.
Well, I would say that we've gotten better. They've gotten worse, slightly in both cases.
Although we've gotten better.
Oh, I think we've definitely gotten better offensively. And I think we're the same team defensively. Our performance against Missouri and LSU
were both below average.
LSU was a lot better. LSU was a lot better offensively, except for 2 really bad, stupid turnovers.
And what about points?
Well, yeah, because of the turnovers. But no, I think our offensive performance, I think he's way far from where he needs to get, but Mateer is a lot closer to seeing the field and doing what he needs to do than what you saw against Tennessee and Alabama.
LSU, our offense has not looked good.
But regardless,
I'm not saying it's looked good. I'm saying it's looked better.
I don't think it's looked better than
it did against Alabama. I think it has.
I think it looks the same.
And they look worse. Alabama is clearly worse than when we played them.
I think if we've moved the needle offensively, it hasn't been in a significant way. I do think, Steve, kind of to your point, I feel like we're seeing more looks that are open and just not being executed upon, in my opinion. I mean, there was some situations where
I think Arbuckle is calling better games.
I think Arbuckle may be playing or maybe calling better games in terms of the execution that we need to see has not been there. But regardless, I mean, we all want to win this game, obviously. Like it's the next thing. It's the next thing that we're wanting, hoping for. But Lucas, for you, I hope you get to take a step back. This is a huge deal. Like it's massive.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Yeah. It's so badass.
It's like incredible.
We're in the second year of teams hosting playoff games in college football, and here we are. We get to do it.
After last season, so I wanted to jump on what you're saying and what you were saying about where we are today versus where we were a year ago. So it is pretty phenomenal. We got to appreciate it. And you have to appreciate the fact that, unfortunately, welcome to being a Sooner fan, where all that you can think about is if we don't perform the way we're supposed to, we're going to miss up an opportunity that's right in front of us to accomplish something even bigger. But we need to appreciate and take heart to the fact that we're hopefully never going to be back in this position again, where we're just happy to be in the playoffs. And we turned around a season of a losing season, 6-6 regular season, losing losing to Navy, all the turmoil, coach on the hot seat. Where are we going? What's going to happen with this program? To all of a sudden, here we are. We're in the playoffs. Many men have doubted us, and we just fought back. That's something to be really proud of. Unfortunately, this may be the last time we get to be in this position, because we're going to be looking forward saying we're disappointed that we're not.
Yeah, here's the bar.
With a bye.
Here's the bar.
We're done hosting. We want to have the bye.
Right.
Potentially. We'll talk about whether or not the bye is so great. But yeah, we want to be even better. We want to have beaten Texas. We want to have not given away a game against Mississippi. We want to be in the driver's seat like A&M was, like Georgia was, where you were
penciled in 2 weeks before.
Yeah, where you were pretty safe and
close,
secure.
Yeah.
We want to get there, but this is the last chance. Maybe we get at that in a while. Hopefully, I'm pretty excited about that fact. I think that it speaks a lot to everything that they built in the program and the things we hoped we were seeing when it came to Nagy all the way through. So we're like on 11 months of hopefulness and rightful hopefulness, and now it looks like it's paying off.
And I want to be clear, like I'm not sitting here saying whatever happens in this game, at least we got to host the playoff.
About it.
I want to win this game. Yeah. And if we don't win, I'm going to be massively disappointed, because Lucas, you said it. This is a team we should beat.
Yep.
And we should beat them because we already have.
Yep. And so I'm tired of the people with it's tough to beat a team twice. The other thing it's hard to do? Beat a team who beat you.
Yes.
In your home field.
Yep.
Like, it is tough both ways. The good thing is we didn't beat them with stuff they can start to figure out, I don't think, the same way that some teams do. If you have a really good offense and you beat a team, there's a pretty good chance you can scheme and figure out how to defeat that offense. But how do you defeat just a really good defense?
Right.
What are you going to do? You're going to have to come up with something brand new, and you're going to have to keep up with an offense that may have some tricks up their sleeve that you haven't seen.
Right.
So it is disappointing thinking about the fact that Indiana's not that good of an opponent. I'm sorry. If you look at and put any stock in the idea that the blue chip ratio matters, well, they blow the blue chip ratio out of the park because they don't have any blue chips. They got maybe 2. So, and I think that's an overused metric, but still, they don't have the talent that Ohio State has. They don't have the depth that Ohio State has. So we have to look at it as we got a little bit fortunate potentially if we get to that level in the Rose Bowl that we're facing an opponent that we probably are better than talent wise, man to a man. If we can stay healthy, if we can put things together. Of course, we see something out there that says they've got one of the toughest defenses in the country, and that same commentator was completely leaving us off the list. So I guess I know. I guess
Yeah,
I'm deceived. We
the
don't have a
whole-
defense.
The whole kind of it feels like we've been discounted to a large extent because of our lack of production on offense, which is somehow forcing people to overlook the stellar play that we've had on defense. And it's easy to get caught up in points and big scores and blowouts and stuff like that. Fine, but if you don't go and look at our defense and say like this is just a dominant team. I know we use the word elite a lot, and we used it at the beginning of the season, but in terms of what we would consider elite and what we've seen in the past with the early 2000s and the mid 2000s versus what Lincoln and Alex Grinch had, this is an elite defense, and it deserves the flowers. Like I mean, it you have to give that credit to this unit because every game in this conference is a grind, and they handled it outside of Ole Miss. Maybe a little bit outside of Texas, but they handled it extremely well.
And every team in this tournament has flaws. There's not a, you know, I mean, even the 2019 LSU team, their defense was good, but it wasn't amazing.
Right.
The offense was obviously
Incredible.
record setting.
Right.
But in this 12-team playoff, you can't look at any one of these teams and not
There's
see
deficiencies.
a beatable team.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Every single
outside of Tulane and James Madison.
right, of course. There are definitely things you can exploit on each and every one of them.
It's great. I mean, it's a great field. Like I think it's a very diverse group of teams, and I think you look at Texas Tech,
even teams that don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
I think you look at like Texas Tech and Oregon, and those are two teams that are really, I think, very similar in what they are as teams. But the Big Ten champ, I mean, the Saturday night football games we got between Duke and Virginia and Ohio State and Indiana were awesome. I was very pleased with that.
And I like the outcome.
I like the outcome,
Yeah,
man.
that makes
But
it easy.
the Ohio State and the Indiana game was very just strange. Like, but it also kind of fit the narrative that we've been preaching on this podcast and in conversations with one another of what we think those teams are, and the fact that they have not played anybody. To the Big Ten's credit, they set those two teams up to be completely independent of one another in the regular season. And here they are meeting, and it's a 13-10 game.
And all the other teams had an easier go of it.
But guess what? We don't hear it's a 13-10 game.
Yeah.
We don't hear anything about either of those teams scoring more than 13 points.
Yeah.
Which is because they, put up points against nobody state
Exactly.
and the other people they play,
Right.
which is and I know we didn't put up the offense that we should have against Temple, Illinois State, etc. We didn't have a lot of those opportunities, by the way.
Right.
And we were breaking in a new quarterback and new offense at the time. But still, it's funny how the narrative just gets shifted. And
Well, those are your two Heisman frontrunners.
yeah, exactly. And they did not look
And
like
they
it.
scored a combined.
And no one was
23
talking about
points in
those
the game.
defenses coming into
Right.
that game.
Right.
They invent that narrative at the backside.
It's convenient.
So it's real convenient, giving us a lot of bulletin board material for sure. Well, let's jump into the playoff, and then we'll circle back to these other things because I don't want to miss really the main event, and that is just start with the question: how bad did the committee do?
From a grade wise, I'd give them a
I give them a B. I don't think they did a bad job.
screw that. I give them.
Yeah.
I'm giving them a 60 out of 100.
Yeah,
6 out of 10.
D as well.
And I think it's for a couple of reasons. A, kind of how everything shook out. I don't necessarily I don't agree with it. But B, the way that they were ranking teams going into the final weekend, going into conference championship weekend, and then completely changing philosophy on the fly or changing reasoning on the fly as to why teams are where when some teams didn't play and they're moving drastically in rankings, Miami, Notre Dame, etc. I just think it was really poorly done. I think the predictability, and I texted it to you guys. Don't even put out a committee ranking until after the conference championship games. Let us all speculate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point in it. Everyone wants to know where they're at. Yeah, but I have the AP poll for that, and it's relatively okay. So don't give me a bunch of fodder. And then if I'm Notre Dame fans, I mean, rightfully so, I'm pissed.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't play, Miami doesn't play, but all of a sudden they're jumping up
Right.
above me multiple spots.
What happened to do that? So I had the exact same complaint. Here's why I give them a D. You make a mistake early, I thought. You don't have Miami in front of Notre Dame, etc. You a week or so later, you move Mississippi up after they lose their head coach and most of their coaching staff. You've got all kinds of weird things going on that don't make sense. And then your narrative, when you start to explain it, doesn't make sense.
Well, and you're using one thing for one team and then the opposite for
another. They moved Mississippi up only because A&M lost. They dropped below them. I don't necessarily think you moved them up.
Who? Mississippi?
Yeah.
They moved up.
After A&M lost.
So what?
They dropped A&M below them.
Mississippi should have moved back. Mississippi should have been behind us.
Or
if they're going to move, they need to move the other direction.
They beat us.
So what did they beat us? You look at the fact they're not as good a team. You look at how good of a team
their head coach is the only guy that's gone. Everybody else is going to be.
Florida State beat Alabama. Should Florida State be ranked in front of Alabama? Should they be playing us and coming to Norman?
No, because the records aren't close.
No, exactly. You can look at that.
Just the head coach doesn't make the whole team.
The head coach and most of the coaching staff does. That's a big difference.
The whole coaching staff's coaching the bowl game. I mean, from here on out.
Well, not the whole coaching staff because Lane
Kiffin. All the offensive guys are back.
Yeah, they're back. They're back. I'm sure that's going to be exactly the same as if they were all on the whole program and none of this turmoil had happened.
Well, and you have a Pete Golding who he's not going to be Lane. I mean, in terms of his coaching. So did Charlie Weiss Jr. call plays, or was he a co-OC2 Lane?
That's a good question.
Weiss calls the plays, but Lane has input.
He kind of QAs it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's got to have value potentially.
Well, it does. I mean, in decision, just you look at the minute details as well of what being a head coach is, and you have someone who has never been a head coach who is trying to manage an entire game.
Yeah.
Not just a game against, South Carolina or someone like that.
Right.
You're managing it against, who do they play? They play
James Madison.
I mean, Golding was a
Tulane.
Golding was a Bama. Now he's at Ole Miss. He knows.
I mean, I know. I'm not discrediting the guy.
Let's not get too focused on that.
They are worse without
biggest error.
When I said I give the committee a B, it was based on the final result. If we're talking what y'all are saying the whole time, then I definitely give them a D because
committee grade.
This whole time that the Miami being behind Notre Dame, once Miami lost a couple games, the whole idea of them saying on the committee, well, they're not next to each other, so we can't grade head to head. Well, that's complete nonsense. BYU's in between them, so we can't go with that. That's horseshit. But my B was based on the final standings. I think I would have had Georgia at 2 and dropped Ohio State to 3. And I would have also had, I would have dropped Bama out and had Notre Dame and Miami both in.
Well, yeah, so I get where you're coming from.
So I think they missed one team altogether.
On Bama stay. Result.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it was a B.
Yeah, I'm not going to let them get a pass on everything else they did leading into that.
I wasn't either.
And it's not good for football.
Going on
the rank.
Turned down.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yeah, this whole time it's been. And then you have a guy. You have a guy.
Not bad for the playoff.
The Baylor
guy stepped down.
And then you put a guy out there that's deer in headlights. It looks like
who's gone through a coaching search, who has 1,000 other things going on at his university.
Yes,
it's a joke.
It looks really bad for football and really bad for the CFP.
You need some independence.
You've got Notre Dame has a very legitimate gripe that, and I identified it. You've got no representation there for Notre Dame, and you've got ACC representation on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
They shoehorned in Miami from that standpoint. Regardless of if they probably should be ranked in front of Notre Dame, they weren't for all this time. So all of it should really bad.
Have happened.
It should,
and if it did happen, there needs to be some sort of like dissent or some sort of
it's like a Supreme Court justice decision.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like
something.
You've got a couple guys that write a paper on this.
You need to come out with some sort. I mean, you can't rest on laurels and say what I'm going to say on ESPN after this is going to be the oh, that's the reasoning. Like, there needs to be some sort of state. It does not make any sense.
Doesn't.
There were no teams. Notre Dame didn't play either of the teams that were, I'm sorry, Miami didn't play either of the teams that were in the ACC championship.
Right.
So it didn't gauge that. It didn't make so. If
you couldn't say
it didn't matter.
They blew Duke out and Duke's the champion.
Right.
Nothing
happened like that.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some sort of say. Like it does, and it would make the public feel better. Just say we messed up. It was bad. Like it was not, and they will never do it because it undermines what the committee is, because the committee's bullshit. But it was a really bad look. Like a really
I thought it was a bad look too. And some of what is BS about it is the fact that they've got these constraints that are just undermining the entire process. When you have these automatic qualifiers, the way that they're structured, I was just elated at the fact that we had what was enough, totally surprised that it was sufficient last year to get rid of the worst feature, which was the automatic buys. I was blown away that there was
enough so much better
to get that. Well, I was blown away with the fact that in one season
Arizona State
they could get that done.
Yeah,
that's not usually how things work.
Yeah,
and so maybe this is the second season to get things done and get rid of these automatic qualifiers, because it's a joke. And we need to get rid of this socialism. It's ridiculous. You need to earn your way into the playoff and get the top 12. If you look and see where these guys are, I mean, they're barely scraping the top 20. In fact, they weren't in the top 20 before this, and now they're two of the 12 best teams.
Two of the 12 best teams.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
They're not beating. Let's just rattle them off. They're not going to beat Texas. They're not going to beat Vanderbilt. No. They're not going to beat Notre Dame. It undermines football. It's bad for the sport. If they can earn their way in, great. Play a schedule and win, and that's what it's going to take. And I know you could say, "Hey, we have to play our conference." Then go play some non-cons and get it in there and get your resume where it needs to be. But this is ridiculous. So I thought that was frustrating. And in light of that, I want you guys, and I'm going to do the same. We're going to share what we think is our true top 12. So what is your true top 12? No automatic qualifiers, no what their record happened to be. So not deserving. So this is going to be one that doesn't reflect exactly the way that you probably would grade it, even if you're on the committee unencumbered by the automatic qualifiers. I totally understand how you would say an 11-1 team is going to be better than a 10-2 or a 9-3 or whatever. But who do you think, if you lined them up and played enough games, would truly shine as the top 12 teams? Let me read off mine if you guys are ready to listen and then tell me your dissent, and then reading off yours. I've got number 1, Georgia. I think they're the number 1 toughest team out there. There were, in our poll, it was, I believe the majority felt like if we faced them, that would be the toughest test for Oklahoma. So that was my number 1. Ohio State, number 2. Indiana, number 3. They won their games. And so I have to go back to the fact that they won a lot of football games, regardless of the fact the resume is not that strong.
But you got Indiana behind Ohio State.
Indiana behind Ohio State, yes. Ohio State's a better football team than Indiana. Oklahoma, number 4. Oklahoma's the 4th toughest football team in the country. Alabama, 5. Texas, number 6. Notre Dame, 7. Oregon, 8. Ole Miss, 9. And I'm going to say Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin is number 9.
Hmm.
Texas Tech 10, Texas A&M 11, Vanderbilt 12. Obviously SEC dominant. I could split some hairs on those lower ones. I think that the margin of difference is very, very small, but I do think overall I've captured who the best and the worst of the best happen to be. What do you guys got? You got to get some disagreement?
I mean, yeah. So I mean, not disagreement. I understand your reasoning, but I do have different rankings.
Well, you're wrong.
I also have Georgia at number 1. I would agree with you at this point. Better conference, better wins, stronger football team holistically than most, if not all, teams out there. I actually have Indiana at number 2. I'm going to give them credit for that title game that they won. I actually think
I can't disagree with that too much.
yeah,
I
at the end of the
totally
day,
understand.
Indiana and Ohio State may be very similar teams. Maybe to your credit, Ohio State has better athletes, and that may play out, in a
Maybe.
10-game series. It may
Right.
play out more times than not. But for now, I've got Indiana at number 2. I've got Ohio State at number 3. Still think they're a very good football team. I've got Oregon at number 4.
Biggest disagreement so far.
They did get the break speed off them by Indiana, but they've kind of handled business otherwise. I've got Texas Tech at 5.
Wow.
I do think they're pretty good. I think they have a lot of talent that will give some teams a run for their money at the end of the day. I could see them being in a college football playoff semifinal. Well, I have these numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 6 now. I've got Oklahoma at 6. I've got A&M at 7. I've got Mississippi at 8. I've got Notre Dame at 9. Miami at 10. Bama at 11. Texas at 12.
So from just the names, the only difference we have is you have Miami and I have Vanderbilt out. That's a pretty swappable name, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
You've got them ranked a little higher than I would, but yeah, okay, reasonable. What do you got?
And this is strictly on eye test. I've got Georgia.
Wait, did you eyeball this from the end zone?
I wish.
Okay.
I've got Georgia's my 1, Indiana is my 2, Ohio State is my 3. Because after watching that game last week, I don't feel like Ohio State bullied Indiana at all in the line of scrimmage. And you would think athletically
That's true.
that Ohio State would.
That's true.
And outside of that first play when the dude broke through and just smoked Mendoza,
I thought with that, I thought it was going to be
the whole game
42-0.
Oh, I mean, watching that first was like, oh crap, if they're in trouble.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And then they weren't.
Yeah.
So I think they didn't get bullied, which was a surprise. So I go Indiana above them based on them winning that game.
Fair.
That's where we got disagreement. At 4, I've got Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has a really good offense and a pretty good defense.
They do. I don't disagree.
Their only loss was to Georgia. I don't think they got the doors blown off of them, did they?
No, that was a game like deep into the 4th.
It was a game against the team that I feel like is the best team.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their only loss. They played a pretty good schedule. They came in here and beat us. So
yeah,
I've got almost a 4.
That's their only 2 games. They didn't play anybody else.
I mean, they beat the brakes off another playoff team in Tulane by 5 touchdowns.
You're not wrong.
Well, we'll find out.
I have Oregon at 5. I think their offense is pretty legit. Defense is solid. I think Lanning's a good coach.
Agreed.
He's a really good motivator. I think even with some of maybe their deficiencies, I think he is someone who helps get them over the top of things that they may not otherwise get over.
6, I've got Texas Tech. I only have them ranked above us because they're good on both sides of the ball. They're not elite on either side, but I feel like they've got a pretty good offense and
fairly complimentary
and a pretty good defense.
Yeah.
So I don't think everybody has flaws, but they're solid on both sides.
The thing is with Tech, we haven't seen
them play anybody. They have not been.
And I have them ranked high as well. I think
that's why I have them low.
I think they are a good football team.
They haven't been tested.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm betting that lack of test is going to come out in the wash of they aren't that good. You guys reasonably
They
are
could be.
saying they actually are
And I
good.
watched them play 3 games this year against lesser teams, and they played well.
But which
Yeah.
is why
That's what's tough.
the BYU descent is hilarious. And I know you go off strength
Ah.
of schedule and strength of record and stuff like that.
Come on.
BYU vying for a spot is just, I mean, it's comical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
So that was 6. I've got OU at 7. I would have us higher if the offense was worth a shit, but it's not.
It's higher than what we're ranking.
Yeah.
I have Texas at 8.
Okay.
I think it's worthy.
I think they're another good on both sides of the ball,
Yep.
but they're super streaky and inconsistent.
Yes. Yes.
When they put it all together,
Yeah.
they're one of the best 8 teams in the country.
Yep.
But there's a couple times that they just lose themselves,
Mm-hmm.
either play calling or
Breakdown.
secondary issues,
Yeah.
something
Yep.
like that. And then I've got this is eye test because this team played, I've got Notre Dame next.
Okay.
Above A&M, who they lost to,
Mm-hmm.
which is next.
Okay.
And then Miami, who they also lost to. Both of them first 2 games of the season. I think it was by a combined 4 points in those 2 games. Lost
Yeah,
by
very
3
close.
to 1 and 1 to the other.
And some questionable calls.
The question was the no holding call against A&M
Was
on
not even
that was a
questionable.
4th down, right?
It was absurd. Yes.
So that should have pushed him back 10 yards. It was, I mean, literally 2 guys tackled that
Yeah.
defensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So A&M should not have won the game. And I think Notre Dame has progressively got better, even though their competition sucks.
Yep.
They do look better as the season's gone along.
they
I
look
agree.
pretty good.
And then the last team I've got in is Bama, and they're squeaking in. They're leaking oil like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but
They are one of the 12 best.
they are one of the 12 best.
Yeah. Okay. So
And outside of that, Vanderbilt
They have a case.
they have a case. Other than that,
I don't know. Yeah.
That's it.
if this was a top 16
did
year,
you? I'm sorry. Did you have Miami?
yeah, they were
Okay. Yeah.
they were
So
11.
Vanderbilt is it
Vanderbilt's the only team
the
that
only
I
other
would say
team
that's
that's
it.
got a
And then you have a
base-
big
Yeah.
gap, and
Yeah.
then it's BYU.
and then it's BYU. Exactly right.
I mean, even like who else was in there that I was looking at? I mean, USC isn't quality enough.
No, Michigan's not quality enough.
Michigan's not quality enough.
I don't know anyone else. Truly.
Virginia, I mean,
They're
they-
not good though.
they don't have the athlete.
They're not.
No,
compete.
no, they don't. They not even close.
So
Not even close.
And it's just so. I mean,
the way Iowa State started out the season, I thought they were going to be in the
Right.
running,
Same
and then they fell apart.
They
in
did
the
what
middle.
Iowa State always does.
Yeah.
I mean, we give the Big 12 so much crap, and I know we've talked about it a little bit, but man, the ACC was Big 12 2.0 this year.
It was so
was-
bad.
I mean, you're going into Clemson, and you're not scared. Like it's one of those. It's one of those years.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's just a strange, and again, it's moving much towards the mindset that we've talked about over and over and over again. You have 2 elite conferences. You have 1 elite conference, and you have a top-heavy good conference in the Big Ten.
Well put. I like
So, and I think it's after this debacle. I think it's a debacle of what this
Well-
committee has done with the playoff. You're moving closer towards maybe it's maybe it's
In-
why. Maybe
in
it's
10
conspiracy.
years-
That's why it is.
In 10 years, there will be a super.
I think so too. I
Oh,
really think
I
so.
don't know if it's going to take that long.
It's either
Yeah,
48,
I'd actually take the under.
it's either 48 or 64.
Yeah, I would take
In the
the
next
under.
decade.
I would take I agree, and I would take the under on the 10 years.
Because you're losing James Madison and Tulane being in, you're losing money.
Oh, huge money,
You're losing a lot of
huge attraction.
and
Even if they win, that doesn't substantiate anything.
Anything.
We know they're not one of the top 12
Right.
teams in the country. We know they're not the national champion. Come on, who are we kidding?
which is
here?
why it's like so it's the top 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Mhm.
So screw that. If you're going to keep the model and make an adjustment, it's top 4 in the Power 4. It's the Power 4 conference champions and one at large, unless you're naturally within the top 12.
Well, then the rest will be outlined.
Right? Yeah, the rest at
Yeah.
large. Yeah, sorry. So
Well,
if you go and win your conference as an American conference team,
So Duke is in.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no, that's
In
true.
your
I don't
scenario,
like that.
Duke
I
is
don't
in.
like
That's true.
With 5 losses.
No automatic bid.
No automatic.
No
bid.
automatic
Yeah,
bid.
it's no automatic bid.
Because you never know. I mean, theoretically, even the SEC could have a year where nobody's quite that good. And you don't want, and if they are, you don't want them to sneak a team in as conference champion,
Right.
where there might be three other teams that are really good and some weird tiebreaker, and who gets to play it because it could be A&M.
Yeah.
It could be A&M who might, let's say A&M's worse than they actually are even, and they play a light schedule. They somehow find their way into the conference championship and win. And then all of a sudden you're going to put them in, and who are you knocking out? Another good SEC team, a team by definition that's good, or somebody that's very good in another conference? That's ridiculous. Or even a group of five team.
Right.
It could knock out a good group of five team who just there's not room for them.
Right.
So all of that's bad. What I hope is not the solution is go to 16 teams. That is not a solution. That's more of the problem.
I think it's more of the problem because it's a slippery slope of just every time you expand, you proliferate the arguments.
What you're going to do is you're
splitting hairs that aren't hairs.
Well, you're going to dilute the regular season. Yeah. You're going to make everyone decide they're not going to play anybody,
right?
And you're going to get conferences that are going to start to strategically develop their schedules, like I think the Big Ten already does. But
the SEC
it's not the SEC used to. It's not good.
I don't think you're far off from that already, though. And my only argument, and I agree with you, I don't think 16 teams is the answer by any means.
I mean, 8 is the right number.
8's the right number. However, I will say, I think since it's 12, by doing a 16-team playoff, you're not adding, another round per se. You're just eliminating buys.
Buys are going to be on.
Right.
So that would, and if you just did a straight seed 1 through 16.
Here's why that's finished, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah, if you just do a straight seed 1 through 16, everyone's having to play a first round game, and you're not having to deal with a number 24 ranked James Madison getting into the field.
They probably would get into the field.
You think so?
Well, a team as good as James Madison would, and that's part of the problem because. Say whatever you will. Go look it up. I don't know who is 16. I don't know who's behind BYU in this whole deal.
I think it'd be USC at Georgia.
So you got USC, you've got BYU, Vanderbilt, and Notre Dame in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to get into teams that have and that's actually if you don't have the automatic bids, you still are going to have to dig deeper. Who is the next team in that group?
Yeah, but that's my thing. Is like
North. If you're talking about group of 5?
No, I'm talking about who take out the automatic qualifiers, go to 16. Okay. You're going to have the teams we mentioned are already in. There's still somebody else that's going to be 16 because we have open slots.
You've got the 10. You're taking out 2. You're adding Notre Dame.
So let's
Texas,
just go by the
USC, AP. Virginia.
Okay, Virginia's
no. If you go by the AP, right?
Okay.
Now, you have 1 through 12, Indiana, Georgia, Ohio State, Tech, Oregon, Mississippi, A&M, OU. Then you start getting into teams that are not in the playoff. Notre Dame at 9, Miami at 10, Bama at 11, BYU at 12. You've got Vandy at 13, Texas at 14, Utah at 15, SC at 16.
So, okay, Utah, SC, any of these teams, you didn't do enough to earn the right to play for a national championship. And you're going to make a team that's number 1 who beat all of their teams play a team like that. Virginia's not in that list?
No.
So, if Virginia would have won, they would have been in that list.
For sure, yeah.
And they are not good enough to deserve to be in a field and make a team play them. So that's where it becomes ridiculous, and it's bad for the sport because it's tough to play a football game, period. I don't care who you're playing. Risk of injury, all the other things that can happen. And if you make a team like, let's just say, Indiana, who's won all their games, you're going to make them play a 16-ranked team? That's not fair because they've done enough that they shouldn't have to do that. Even if they win the game 9.5 times out of 10, they still had to play the game, risk the injury, do all the things that they would have to do to prepare, expose themselves, and show their offensive scheme and their defense.
So you're saying buys are earned?
I'm not just that buys are earned. That's my argument against this. Let's expand to 16. It's already ridiculous at 12.
It is.
Let's not make it more ridiculous.
Right.
Just because we can't make up our minds, just because we're afraid of disappointing someone. Obviously, we're not afraid of disappointing someone. We're disappointing Notre Dame.
Correct.
We're disappointing all kinds of teams. Just be a man and let's pick 12 teams and let's go. This is nonsense.
So what is you all's take? Because it feels like, especially after this one with what happened with Bama didn't move an inch in the rankings after getting handled by Georgia.
I mean, it hurt BYU,
But yeah,
but it didn't hurt Bama.
correct.
I thought that was strange.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
what? So
And BYU, I mean,
And the history it is hurt in the like. Did you see that?
yeah,
everyone
everyone's ever lost.
Everyone has
has
always gone down.
except
And
for
BYU may just have a bugaboo against Texas Tech.
Right.
Like they just
right.
may not match up against
True.
them, but
True.
they could match up against an Ole Miss
True.
or an A&M or somebody,
So,
you know. But who knows? That just might be their, you know,
they got their number.
Yeah, they got their number.
So to my question is, I mean, how much longer do we have with conference championships?
I think that they're sticking around.
I
don't
saw the
think that's
numbers
going
today. It was crazy on the viewing.
I think they'll figure out a way to keep
18
that.
million and
Like,
But
they run the risk of messing a lot of things
But
up.
do you
But
do you
they'll
have
keep
to
that.
figure you have
should
to
keep
figure
that.
out a mathematical solution, in my opinion, of what conference championships can and can't do for you.
I
You
don't know
should
about
not.
that.
I just don't think. I mean, the way that you could the way that Bama could have fully benefited from a conference championship win
Right.
versus
ever so
not
much.
being affected
Yeah,
at
that's
all
a
by a
problem.
conference
That's
championship.
the problem.
There
That's a
has to be
committee
some.
problem.
It's maybe not it's not a mathematical issue.
That's a committee
You
issue.
need to figure out a precedent to
You're right.
set
Right.
to say here's what conference championships can and can't
Yes.
do, and here's how we weight that against what we do in the regular
Well, it's
season.
been a mathematical issue in the past with the BCS computer system.
Right.
They use that
One
data
that-
point.
One that
Right.
we've benefited from,
Yeah.
but it's because of the different. I think the BCS weighted it differently, and you should. You have the two best teams from a conference playing each other. Two best teams. Sorry, not the two best teams. You have two teams that are at the top of the conference playing one another. It should not be weighted the same as a regular season game, in my opinion, because not everyone is playing that game or playing on that weekend.
Well, I don't
Should the
think so.
opponent being
I don't
really
think so.
hard?
The but so I don't think so. And the BCS didn't give it any different weighting
don't
other
think
than
so?
AP voters. Well, the computers didn't.
Oh, the AP, yeah.
So here's the deal. You've already accomplished that. So you've accomplished enough and you've gotten the benefit of the fact that whatever you are, 11-1, 12-0, that you've gotten to the conference championship.
Or 7-5,
5 if you're Duke. So
8-4.
So be careful what you ask for, because you're asking for Duke at 7-5, then becomes 8-5, that they get a lot of benefit from that. And that can't be right.
Right.
You've got to look at it as the fact that wherever you are, that has already earned you the status that it's earned you. Here's one more game, be it against a difficult opponent. You should take that into account, but no different than if it was week 2 and you played a really
good
difficult opponent.
That's fair.
So I think you just continue the way it is, and you look at it as a data point that can help you or hurt you. And
Oh, and
there's a
that's-
lot of benefits.
But
for them
and that's the
playing in
thing
that
too,
game.
though, is like I don't think conversations like this inside that committee room is saying like, hey, before these games are played, here's who's playing who,
Right.
and here is how we're going to look at this from a holistic perspective in terms of
Oh,
here's
no
what can
way.
happen if this goes.
No
And
way. Yeah.
but you need that.
You
Like
definitely
you need some foresight in terms of saying like, Bama got beat by
No.
2+ scores.
Here's what I think's happening. You've got a bunch of vested interest in that room. I don't care what you say. They all have an agenda. And at the end of the day, they're trying to spin it so that it helps their constituency.
Yeah.
Every one of them is tied to a constituency, and they're trying to spin it so that it helps what they came in with a preconceived notion or a preconceived incentive of who they wanted and where they wanted it to be
Mhm.
moved to the degree they can. Some of them probably didn't have to do any work. Others probably had to do a lot of work,
A
like
lobby,
the ACC.
yeah.
And so that's where the process really is broken. And it is hurt by the fact that you've got these things that they can hide behind, like automatic qualifiers. If there weren't automatic qualifiers, we would be arguing and splitting hairs about who's 11, 12, 13, and 14. But at the end of the day, 11, 12, 13, and 14 is an interesting, fun conversation, but you've already benefited by the fact that you're even in that conversation when you shouldn't be competing for a national championship, just period.
Correct. And it'll be interesting to see if A&M beats the brakes off of Miami.
Right.
It'll be a fun Twitter scroll.
That actually would be
After
pretty
that
fun.
game.
That would be pretty
And
fun.
I don't think that's gonna
And as much as I would like to
be
see-
a really good game.
Yeah.
But if I would love for it to happen just to undermine a lot and get a lot of people riled up and on the Notre Dame
Yeah.
side and everything else.
Right.
And it also undercuts just the BS that we've had to deal with the committee. It's like you guys are just it feels wrong. Like it feels.
Well, if Notre Dame beats Miami really big, if A&M beats Miami really big, Notre Dame's argument is diminished
It is
because
that's true
they
because
they can't
Yes.
win in this
They can't
situation.
yeah.
The
What did y'all feel about the committee not changing rankings based on having rematches?
that bugged me.
It bugged me too. Like
They should do
What
that.
do you mean?
They should have
We're
not.
playing
They
Bama.
should have engineered non-rematches.
and Tulane
And they had
playing
a
Ole Miss.
perfect opportunity to do that.
If you're going to move it around this much, you could have moved it around so there was no rematch.
Give us
You
exactly.
could have put Miami here, and you could have put Bama at
Ole
A&M or at Ole Miss, and you could have given Tulane and JMU would have gone
to A&M and to Tech.
Yeah.
No, Tech won. Oregon.
Yeah.
And
But
no
instead,
rematches.
Instead, you've got 4
Yeah.
games and 2 of them are rematches.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's stupid.
Yeah.
And
And that's the thing. It's like
you had
when
the
you get down to
potential-
that after the buys, you have that to work
Yeah.
with. Start moving and
You had the
shifting.
potential that if they would have put Notre Dame in over Miami, then 3 of the games could have been rematches. If they would have left Alabama with us,
Right.
had Tulane and Ole Miss still,
Right.
and done Notre Dame
Yep.
and A&M.
Yeah.
I mean,
More interesting football and more. Let's figure out who really is the best versus let's replay each other.
yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, and I texted you guys this, and
I was surprised when it rolled up.
I was
on
shocked.
9 and it said Alabama.
Oh, for sure.
I was
Well,
totally.
first of all, Bama should have been punished for losing the way they did. I don't care if it's a spot.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're number 10.
Yeah.
But at least there's a movement, and there should have been. B, you create two unique matchups, like you just said. If Bama goes to A&M,
yeah.
and we get
They didn't play this season.
But what it
or
feels
Ole
like,
Miss, and they didn't play the season.
what I feel like is the committee looks at it, and you hear the national narrative, and after everything that's come out over the last 3 weeks in terms of pundits criticizing and everything else, the committee is very easily manipulated in terms of what they should do and what they actually do. They sway with the public. But what it feels like is OU gets outgained by X amount of yards. They win by 2 points. It's a flash in the pan. Let's make sure these two teams rematch. And if OU's the real deal, they'll go win again. It feels like a go prove it moment.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm complete. I think we can and should beat them, like we talked about earlier. But don't do that in terms of you have an amazing opportunity with OU Miami.
Yes.
Awesome opportunity.
Well,
marketing, everything else.
Not just that, it's cross-pollinating in a way that really starts to give us more data. You're not being fair to Alabama in this deal.
No.
You're making them replay a team when they could do something different and mix it up to see who really is the best.
Right.
Because why don't we just replay our conferences a bunch and then the 2 conference champions go to the championship? Like that's what this is kind of amounting to.
Yep.
As much as I would love to see James Madison and Tulane win, obviously it'd be good for OU. If OU advances in the playoffs, it'd be fun and interesting. And I love the JMU account. Whoever's running that X account is just hilarious. I love it. They're owning where they are. It wouldn't be good for football if they do. I hope it wouldn't,
because they won't win a national championship.
I hope. I don't know. I guess it could go either way. It could be the fact that if they win, people say, all right, we got to stop this nonsense because these guys can actually win a game and they mess up who really could and should play for a national title. Or it could say, well, see, James Madison, anybody can beat anybody. It's like, all right, why don't we just roll dice and just decide who gets to be in the playoff?
Yeah.
So Jay made a point. He's not here with us tonight, but he made a point.
It's a great point.
He wanted us to add, and he said, I'm just going to read it. All he had to add was how Indiana and Ohio State are still screwed over in the seeding by having a shitty 11-12 team, having shitty 11 and 12 teams. They don't get to prepare early like Texas Tech and Georgia do because they don't know who their next opponent will actually be. Texas Tech is only looking at Georgia film, and Georgia is only looking at Ole Miss film. I think that's a strong point. It undermines the idea of the bye for the fact that these teams, they do get the benefit of sitting at home, resting, recuperating, but they don't know who their opponent is, and they miss out on the extra revenue that they probably would like to have. Last year, Ohio State earned like $5 million net by hosting a game. And that's probably what the big programs can assume they would get by hosting a game. That's big money. That means something. and they don't know who they're going to be preparing against. They only are going to get 1.5 weeks. What is it? I guess it's the 20th through I guess they get 11 days.
Yeah.
11, 12 days to prepare. Yeah. So that's not, that isn't a really good setup for sure.
No, I mean, it's just it falls back on the argument that we have is.
I bet those coaches want to buy it.
Well, I'm sure they want,
but they want the buy. But in looking towards
But the
future
fact- yeah.
opponents, that you are lined up with
Nah,
you're lined up with the
11 days.
non at large. I don't know.
I don't think 21 days for Georgia trying to figure out who they line up against. Oregon.
I've got it right here.
The winner of the Oregon JMU.
So Georgia is lined up with the winner of Tulane and Ole Miss. So
Okay.
Georgia only has to prepare for Ole Miss, theoretically.
Which they already beat them once this year.
But they're the
So
three.
they've got that film.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I'm not saying that doesn't
Easy
help
for
them.
I was surprised that Georgia didn't move to 2 because they avenged their only loss of the season.
But see,
And Ohio State should have dropped to 3, I feel.
I agree. I think there was a point for that.
but I mean, for Indiana, for example, they're looking at OU Alabama as their next opponent. Texas Tech is the 4 seed. Is looking at James Madison or Oregon, which you're 90% confident, I would say, 90+% confident.
Yeah.
You're looking at Oregon as the 4 seed.
Yeah, but I don't know that 20 days is that much better than 11.
I guarantee it's a lot better.
I bet it's a lot better. I bet it's a lot better.
We always hear about
And then
Russ
by the
Leach
off chance that James Madison,
It's not as bad as it
3
was
weeks later.
last year, where the 5 seed by Ohio State was golden, but it's still a little bit.
and what Jay's alluding to is stuff we talked about last year, and what multiple people are talking about is, all right, you've taken this automatic buy out of the picture this season. Great. Now do you take into account the reseeding of teams based on the first round results?
I think that'd be awful.
I think so too.
I definitely don't.
I think
see
it
that.
mixes up way too much.
It's hard to bet on.
It's
hard to fill a bracket out.
It really just boils down to you need to get rid of the James Madisons and the Tulanes of the
It
world
does.
being in
It
the
really
playoff.
does. It really,
Like,
really does.
legitimate.
All right.
put them in Division 2.
So remind me, where do we go if we win our game? What bowl game?
We go to the Rose Bowl.
I'm manifesting it. We've got Rose here.
Nice.
Excited. So,
Nice.
I want to win so badly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is.
I looked at flights.
Pasadena,
What do they
or
look
to
like?
LA?
Well, there's 5 different airports in LA.
Yeah.
It looks like you can go round trip for 2 people under $800.
So if we book now on Southwest, that's a refundable ticket or a reusable ticket if we don't go. Right?
Right.
Maybe worth it. Maybe worth booking now.
So I'm thinking about it too. I definitely think it's something.
Because I'll tell you what our first thing I thought about was I sure would like to go to Russell's for breakfast. I love that place.
Really wish I could have
Right in downtown Pasadena.
Yeah, it was
So
good.
So
It was
good.
very good. It was very good.
stuff to do.
So the Rose Bowl's a beautiful setting. It's awesome. I'm not superstitious, but I'm superstitious.
Superstitious.
I'm
not booking flights ahead.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, do you think that the flight is going to get more expensive? I don't know if it gets more expensive.
As soon as the clock ticks off and the game is over,
I
that
guess
flight
they
gets more
know.
expensive.
Yeah, I guess they know they might add flights like they did for other
Maybe.
games this year. So that might work in our favor.
That's on a Thursday.
It would be-
that's tough for me to get to.
So I might book. So I guess let's assuming we're gonna go. We need to have that discussion. I might book a flight now because I know I can use it in the coming year on
Right.
Southwest.
Right.
That would be. Now, would we go?
You'd be
Should we
taking the whole
go?
crew.
Yeah, that's the problem. I gotta take the whole crew. So we got
That's a
4
problem.
tickets.
Should we go? It's a big should. It's a second round.
I tell you where I am going is Miami.
I
If
will
we
be
get
in
there.
Miami.
I'm
And
gonna be there.
So my plan is when we make the national championship, I will make sure I work that week.
Are you back at work?
I'll be back at work, but I'm working in Miami. So I mean, crap, I go to the office on Monday. I'm
It
driving.
wouldn't mess anything up. They're like, no, I'm sorry, Connor, we're gonna need you to come in.
They respect it.
Yeah,
These
I'm
guys
gonna need you to come in on Monday.
What are the
to
semifinal sites?
Is it
Fiesta Bowl and
Prairie World?
no
No.
is it Sugar or
no
no
Peach?
Peach?
So
So we'd either be
Georgia.
or Phoenix.
I'm not thinking that far ahead. We got to get through next Friday.
But you got to think that far ahead.
I don't have to.
If you want to have a chance to get there, you got to think that far ahead. I feel like I don't know.
So yeah, if we win, we're obviously in the Rose Bowl.
I immediately hated myself when I started checking flights.
If we win that, we're in the Peach Bowl.
No.
That's how the bracket's set.
I thought it was Fiesta.
No,
Are you sure?
Peach, right here. Yep.
And let me guess, Georgia's in the Peach Bowl.
Who was saying that we're
Georgia's
in
on the
Fiesta
other side of the bracket.
Georgia on the other side of the bracket. Georgia would be if they made it to the semis, they'd be in the Fiesta.
So it'd probably be.
Yeah, I thought for sure I saw that we were in the Fiesta Bowl.
It'd be much better if we were.
Yeah, so we would be against potentially who?
Oregon or Tech, or James Madison.
Not bad.
No, we're on the best side of the bracket for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from the standpoint of travel.
Oh, travel wise, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter if we get there, win and lose. It's not going to be the 15,000 fans from in the crowd.
Yeah, you might be able to go to all those games.
Well, no, that's not going to matter for winning and losing. Yeah. Like it's not going to be. Oh, we would have won had it not been the extra 5,000 fans that they had in the stadium.
Well, here's
it's not like playing LSU and
yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing. If Oregon beats James Madison, and if they want to continue their ride, they'll be straight East Coast based. I mean, they'll be Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, Orange Bowl.
That's rough.
Or national championship in Miami.
That's hard for those fans.
I mean, yeah, you better.
That's hard on the team. That actually is hard.
Really hard on the team.
So that's a lot of travel.
You have to make a decision.
That's I'm lot of.
Probably not going to go back. If I'm going to go back home, well, what are we going to do?
You got to go back home. You can't spend that long.
Although school probably doesn't start.
No, but you can't afford to have those guys. They probably by rule can't have them.
You'd be spending
out that far.
You'd be spending 19 days away from home.
Nah, that's not going to happen. They're going back home. So that's a lot of travel. And that is proven to be a real headwind to teams that travel, especially going from the west to the east.
The jet stream.
Yeah, the jet stream. Yeah, the
east to the west.
The travel, 2 time zones are a true impact on teams in every sport. So
it'd be cool if Tulane
that'd be good.
Be cool if Tulane made the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Sugar Bowl against Georgia. Tulane in New Orleans.
That'd be hilarious. So if we were to win the national title, though, I want us to face one more team that's tough. Like, I guess I would take the trade-off of, I don't know, I'd take the guaranteed national title, but I don't want to hear the crap about you didn't play anybody when we played such a tough schedule.
I don't think anybody could say that. You looked at the schedule.
But if we played after beating Alabama and in Indiana, if we win, so who would it be?
Tech or Oregon?
Well, no,
or JMU.
JMU.
Sorry.
And
that's fine.
And who's the next one?
I'll take JMU to get to final.
Who could be the championship?
I mean, you could have Tulane in the championship.
Tulane. Yeah.
Sign me up.
I'll agree. I agree. You got to take.
I don't care about the perception.
I'll agree with that too.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'll take it. I'll take all the heat in the world. Well, so let's talk about a few other things. One thing that was interesting: the All SEC team came out, and Oklahoma had some representation, more representation than what we had in the preseason for sure. But some notable people that were left off of the list. Any thoughts on that? What were the immediate reactions there?
I was surprised David Stone didn't make it. Who else?
I mean, so maybe let's talk about who we had. Did we send that today? That tweet?
It wasn't today. It was yesterday.
But we sent it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, first team we had Sandell, Miller, and Thomas, right? I believe that was our first team.
Yeah, our Mason.
Second team,
Ben Thompson.
Huh? No.
First team. Okay, so first team, R. Mason Thomas, Tate Sandell, Grayson Miller. Second team, we had Isaiah Satania, Fabechi Wiwu, Taylor Wine, Peyton Bowen, Ben Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Third team, we had Eli Bowen and Jaron Kanik. Jaron Kanik getting on the list is incredible.
Yeah.
Homeboy has not recorded a touchdown all season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Played extremely well. I'm not discounting anything,
Sure.
but
And a converted
awesome,
linebacker.
awesome accomplishment on his part. I agree with you. I think David Stone should have been on that list. I would even argue second team on that list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jaden Jackson has been hurt,
Yeah.
but has been dominant. And again, I texted it yesterday.
Grayson Holton had a hell of a season.
Maybe the stats weren't there. I don't know. If
Yeah.
like,
I don't know what it is, but
like did he just
but
not
for Kanik's
record a
there-
lot of sacks? So yeah, I don't know.
Taylor Wine could have been on there.
Taylor
Yeah.
Wine's second team.
Oh, he is second team.
Second team.
Yeah.
And he's deservedly so. Kip Lewis, that's a snub in my opinion.
Yep.
I think one of the best overall singular game performances against Alabama.
Kobe
I mean,
McKenzie.
took that game over. Kobe, I don't know. I've
Maybe splitting time with Heineke.
iffy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The two of them combined are probably an all SEC player, but they're
I mean,
two
you
people.
you could make the argument for Cortland Guillory to be on.
Yeah.
Even the third team.
Yeah.
He
The
was
best-
on freshman SC.
Yeah, he was. But I mean, arguably one of the better. I mean, going up against the best wide receivers until Eli came back,
Yeah.
played really well.
Yeah.
Very, very well. Yeah.
John Mateer's not on there. You know,
I'm shocked.
What's funny is,
Xavier Robinson plays all year. He's probably on there.
if we were
I
to
don't
say,
know. More, there's better running backs.
what did we have two guys on the all SEC and it was nobody on the first team?
Last year?
No, this year, preseason.
Oh, preseason? Yeah, it was like
I don't remember.
It was a real snub.
it. who did
I
have
think
on
I
there?
didn't think we
It
had
may have been.
anyone,
I think it may have been R. Mason was the only one predicted,
and he was like second team.
I think it may have been second team.
So if you would have told me, or we would have told someone would have told us that we would have had as many people like we did, I think we would have been surprised.
Yeah.
10
That-
total.
John Mateer and Jaden Ott weren't on there,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Georgia was the only team that had more than us. They had one more.
and
Pretty incredible.
yeah, really incredible.
And
And what's
also-
funny is, I think that not just the offensive players could have been there had the offense been better. I think we would have gotten more defensive players on there
If the offense
had the
been better.
offense been better.
I mean, who would have thought looking back a year ago as well that our punter and our kicker would be first team SEC? Wild.
Connor's favorite player, Ben Anderson.
Ben Anderson, baby.
Because who the hell is
Who the
that?
hell's Ben Anderson? I'm serious. Is that a real name?
Deep snapper.
Yeah, the deep snapper.
Is he a long snapper?
Yeah, long snapper,
I mean,
yeah.
that is a long snapper's name for sure. He's
Yeah.
100% white.
Totally. And he'll
Uh,
probably play 10 years in the NFL.
Well,
And
Mike
Winchester's
Winchester's all the
Winchester
money.
Jr.
Winchester, yeah.
But Sandell was a first team All American as well, I believe.
Yep.
Oh,
So-
absolutely.
He's our only-
He
yeah.
should be up for everything.
He's going to
Should-
win the Groza
should win the
Friday
Groza
night.
Award.
Do you think he is going to?
He has to.
So is the Groza
What do you mean he
Award-
has to?
I mean, stats.
But is the
compared to other
Groza
guys?
Award a fan voted award?
No.
No.
So
That
why
was-
are they releasing those?
Because that was
points?
1 point.
Oh, it's a point.
That's a point towards the
That's so
voting.
Freaking dumb. That is so dumb.
It's kind of dumb. Well, I tell you what's dumb is that was it all SEC or no? It was the National Coach of the Year who was left off. Brent Venables.
And how many names are on that
Come on.
list?
And
10.
who is on that list?
The finalists, there were 10 finalists.
That's
and he's
unbelievable.
not on it.
That's just somebody's not looking at what's going on
No.
to understand what the guy's done. And I know it's not a up to this point career award or 4-year award.
He could win the coordinator of the year award though, right?
I don't know. Is he up for that?
I don't know, but I mean, he should be able to be.
He probably
He should
should.
for both.
He
Probably
probably
they
should.
have a coordinator of the year. They have a Broyles Award, which is assistant.
Assistant.
Yeah.
And he's not an assistant coach.
Right. Right. Good point.
DeMarco should win that.
Well, let's transition to just a moment of recruiting. So the recruiting numbers came out. I think OU finished 16. Really good. I think it was a great year. We got who we wanted to get. I think that we're doing the things that we want to do.
If Nagy feels good about it, I feel good about it.
I agree. I totally agree.
So
So I
I'm
look
not
at it
worried.
that way. It's like, the field is flattening. It's great to be number one if you can, but USC was number one and they signed 35 guys. I don't know how that works. I don't know the new rules. I don't know if they can sign against other classes or what's going to go
I
on.
mean, retention is going to be the biggest factor for us.
Retention. Well,
Yeah.
retention is going to be the biggest factor for USC and teams like that. We only signed 24.
well, it'll be really bad retention when Lincoln goes to Michigan. So,
No, I'm
Well-
talking about retaining the guys that we want to keep that are currently on the team.
are we? So who are we worried about?
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm talking
there's one
I'm
position.
not talking about retention of the kids coming in.
Okay.
There's
I'm
three-
talking about
three position groups.
All the guys that were underclassmen that went through senior day. Do you think we'll
Do we
retain?
have that list? Who was it? Because I missed it.
It was about 5 guys. It was at least.
Heineke was on there.
It was a bunch.
Heineke has to be, I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think so.
I think he does.
Wasn't he a
Sophomore or something.
yeah.
No, he's not a sophomore. He's been on the team for a bit.
So
He is a red shirt. I'm just making this up until it pulls up. He's a junior.
He's a junior. Yeah.
so he's one. There are several.
He's a red shirt junior.
Kip Lewis went through it,
Yeah.
and he's got another year.
If you look at Brent and his track record, he retains guys.
He'll retain.
And I'm not wanting a guy to do any favors for us. But in the era of NIL, I think you look at it and say, look, if you're not in the top 2 and you got a chance to be there, we're going to pay you big money. You're going to be able to improve your draft stock. You're going to be on a better team with more relief. I mean, the fact that he got guys to come back and things he got them to do from last year tells me he can do it again
Dominic Williams
this year.
Well, you use R. Mason as the template.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because
You
look
want to
at
be the
what-
next R.
you
Mason
look at what
Thomas?
he was, and now look at what he's going to be.
Yeah.
It's, I
As
mean,
long as his injury heals.
he probably, yeah, I mean, quad is quad. It's not like he's coming off a knee
Yeah.
or a.
He's
Achilles.
totally.
But when I say retention, I'm talking about last year we almost lost David Stone. People are going to come after Jackson again.
I'm not worried about that.
People are going to come after Guillory.
I'm not.
I don't think so.
People are going to come after.
In a 6 and 7 season, that's a lot different than a playoff season.
Correct.
And the money's rolling. We got more money to work with. I'm not that worried about
I mean,
that.
Alabama lost a running back to Mississippi last year.
And they didn't miss a beat. They're so good at running the football.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
are.
it's
Their
You
running
do
back's
run the
legit.
risk. You do run the risk. Yeah, it actually is good. You do run the risk of losing people, but I'm
And
not that worried
you're
about
going to, but I don't know. I'm not sitting
it.
here
I think
like
beggars should be
fretting. Like,
choosers at this point.
I mean, last year it was like Xavier Robinson came on at the end of the season, and we're like, "Holy crap! Like this guy's amazing." And then there's talks of he may leave. I'm not worried about that now. I'm not worried
I
about.
haven't heard that.
Well, no. It was at the end of last year.
Oh, last
Like
year.
if Xavier doesn't get paid or
Right,
doesn't
right,
get
right.
the credit,
I mean, who knows? Somebody come in and drop a bomb on Guillory. Maybe he's like, hell, they'll go pay me twice as much so he's going to pay
yeah.
me.
And here's my homerism: is I think we've instilled such a culture here where I don't know if we have guys who are just going out and like
I agree.
searching. For
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
think that's-
you're going to lose like the Bowen brothers or anything.
No.
But
no, but I don't. I mean,
I don't think you're going to lose Guillory. I don't
like I
think
said,
you're going to lose
almost
anybody.
lost Stone last
Didn't. I think
year.
that-
He put his name in the portal and got some offers and then decided to come back. That's luck.
thank God.
I don't think that's luck. I think that's negotiation. And we're going to play the game. We're going to negotiate back, and we're going to do a good job of getting the guys and keeping the guys we want to keep.
I mean, I think the
Brent's gonna
defensive
do his
guys,
job.
they have to stay.
But you look at the
Like
influx.
you're on a top 3 defense in the country,
Right.
and you're starting and you're making a difference.
Where you're getting reps.
Well, the only
You're
guys
gonna
on
have to
offense
freaking
that you
game.
would worry about are on the unit that has the best coach, and that's the offensive line.
Correct.
They believe in that offensive line coach. So I don't think the risk is there either.
Well, and you look at the fluctuation of some of these teams and how you have some of these high profile guys going out and everything else. You're seeing turnover in coaching staffs. You're seeing coordinators
Still much
leaving.
turnover.
I feel like at least right now, who knows what'll happen. Our staff feels rock solid. Like it
Well,
feels like one of
the
the old
one
Clemson
thing-
staffs where it's just
The one thing
everything.
we don't have yet, although we've done some work in this area, but the one thing, if we can do this year, we can solidify this going forward, and that's put guys into the draft.
Yeah.
So if we can have a great draft
You gotta get
class,
some names out there.
then you can say to everybody, we got money, we got continuity, we are winning championships or playing for championships, and we are putting guys in the draft.
Yep.
What more do you want? Do you want to roll the dice? I understand they want to give you a $500,000 more than we're offering. Let's just make up a number. Do you really want to go roll the dice with them and see what that is? And they can point to a lot of guys that hasn't worked out for
Correct.
and say, this is a unit that's going to get you to a bigger promised land.
Yeah.
Stick here and stay with this. I have a lot of confidence in that. And I think that it starts at the back office and the great work that they're doing. I think that that's incredible, or front office, I guess it should say.
Mhm.
I just have a lot of faith in it. It's it's remarkable to me that we're still only 11 months into the Nagy era, and it is just seemingly rolling with
We're in another
exactly
world.
what we want. We're in another
Did
world.
you hear the interview you did on Gabe and Teddy's podcast? I thought
I don't listen to other podcasts.
I thought for sure Jay would text me the second he heard it because Nagy said something about
40 times.
they were combing through track times, high school track times around the country when they're looking for athletes.
It matters.
I thought for sure Jay would hear that,
Back and back.
and I'd get a phone call.
Bob,
he must
you
not
watch
have
people play basketball. And that's how we
Yeah.
engaged them.
Well, I do think it's that, speaking of interviews, Ed Ogeron was on what are their names?
Blessing with the boys.
Blessing with the boys, and he had a lot to share, man. He's just telling the truth.
All-time character.
Yeah, and
This is a guy who was vying for the LSU job.
he's telling us what, the way it really works and the way that the game has changed.
we
And
appreciate it.
It's awesome. It's hilarious. And I tell you what, everything he's saying is telling you how it needs to be played today. And I feel like we're playing the game right. We're doing it the right way. And not just that we're paying where we should pay and all of that,
We have structure.
but we have structure, we have coherence, we have a plan. Everything's making sense. You've got evaluation that is strategic and thoughtful, and that's the opposite of what you see at a lot of programs. Not to mention the fact that a lot of programs are suffering from crazy turmoil.
Mhm.
I mean, we talk about the coaching carousel and all the coaches that have already been thrown to the wayside. New coaches coming in, and I mean, I don't know if you'd say it's just begun, but we're not in the last inning of this thing. Sharon Moore loses his job today from his own bad judgment. Got arrested. I literally pray for the situation. It's sad. I mean, there's some.
It's ugly.
It's ugly.
Seemingly
it's
ugly.
real. It seems.
Allegedly,
accusations allegedly very ugly, and
here comes another domino.
And another domino, and you've already got
name in the pot.
DeBoer being talked about to potentially take the Michigan job, and you've got with Notre Dame. It sounds like you tell me that he is just like
odds-on favorite
to take a job with the Giants.
Did the Matt Campbell to Penn State ever officially happen?
Yeah, that's official.
Done.
That's done.
Iowa State's already announced that.
Yeah.
Who did Iowa State go with?
Well,
no idea.
Iowa State and Kansas State are not going to go to a bowl game because they don't have a head coach. And so it's just all these dominoes that are happening, continuing to happen. You look at programs like Oklahoma State, they've just got to be like, let's just make sure we lock this down because they did a great job and let's keep what they've got for why they've got it. It is a scary time right now as a fan. There's never been a year like this.
Well, and like Penn State set a bit of a precedence this year. And again, they set the precedent, but then did not execute upon what they did in terms of first to fire, last team to hire. But it is kind of that mindset. It's like if we don't fire our coach in the mid to late season, we're not going to have time to get in on guys.
Yeah, right. Kind of tells you their pecking order in the world.
Which I can't stand the guy. I think Matt Campbell's just a massive douchebag of a human being. I think he's a joke. They could have done a lot worse with what they had.
He's a dork. I'll say that. He is a dork.
But I mean, the Kansas State thing was surprising with
Kleiman
retiring, and
I think he feels kind of like Bob Stoops was. He saw it coming, and Kleiman, I think he just doesn't want to deal with all the NIL.
How much is Kleiman wishing that he was still at North Dakota State? And how so?
Well, that's interesting because with Kansas State, you look at where they are in the world, and they benefited a lot and continue to benefit from that very wealthy family that, and the name's escaping me, who
Cokes
has been
that's Cokes.
Has been just a huge supporter of it. It's ADM guy, huge supporter of that program, but they look like a program who peaked way too early.
Yeah,
and they missed their opportunity to do everything they need to do. And I don't know if they have what it takes to make it in this era to get to that next level. If we get to a super conference, I don't know if they make the cut. That'd be kind of an interesting fun thing to do is to write down who we think does and doesn't make that kind of a cut.
Well, they're kind of on the Oklahoma State slide right now.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're on
Same trajectory, same situation
Yeah.
where their big donor came in 10 to 15 years, in their case,
injected some
30
cash.
years too soon.
Yep.
And they need another infusion to get to where they need to be, and they're just not there yet.
So is Colin Klein coaching A&M in the bowl game?
I don't know.
And I think he was.
Couldn't
I think
tell
he is going to coach.
Is he?
I think he is going to coach. Don't hold me to that, but I think he is going to coach.
I mean, Miami's going to
all of it's a distraction.
I'd imagine Miami benefits from
Maybe
that.
K-State just needs a private equity firm like Utah got.
Oh gosh, yeah,
That's a conversation for another.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
we'll
That's a
see
good
how
off
that goes.
season
Yeah.
topic.
That's going to be an interesting off-season topic. And my view of private equity is the enshittification of everything they touch. It could be bad.
It could be really bad.
They're known for cost cutting, not for growing something.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what you have to do right now.
You have to be in a growth mindset.
Yes.
You have to be, let's figure out how we're going to get expansion. Exactly. Well, we talk about all this coaching turmoil, and that's a perfect segue into my trivia of the week. So I'm gonna hit you guys with this question and see if you can take a stab at it and make some progress. Notable programs, and by that I define them as traditional blue bloods or NFL jobs, to be head coached by a former OU head coach.
Read it one more time. Notable
programs to be head coached by a former OU head coach.
This is Blue Bloods or NFL.
Uh-huh.
By a former OU head coach.
I don't go that far back to like Fairbanks and all that.
You've already named one?
Because
Fairbanks went.
He went to an NFL team, I think.
There are 5.
Wilkinson went somewhere, right?
Uh-uh.
Bud Wilkinson.
Switzer, obviously. The Cowboys.
Switzer, obviously.
So you got Switzer at the Cowboys. You got Wilkinson. Do you know where he went? I'm sorry, Fairbanks. Do you know where he went?
You go the Colts.
Nope.
Who went to the Patriots?
Come on, Patriots.
Yeah,
Patriots. Okay.
Fairbanks with the Patriots. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So Fairbanks, Switzer.
In one case, I'm including someone who isn't former, but coached before at a notable program.
Ellenberger.
Ellenberger at Miami.
Okay.
There's 3.
Are we counting?
You're missing one real obvious one. Lincoln at Southern Cal.
Bob Stoops for the Renegades.
No.
What do you mean? He won a XFL championship.
Yeah, not notable at all. There's
what
one
about,
more.
Gary
and
Gibbs, defensive coordinator for the Saints.
$100 if you can name either the program. All right, I'll give you $100 if you can name the person. I'll give you $25 if you can name the program. $100 for the person. Did I say that wrong? $100 for the person, $25 for the program.
Benny Owen.
Nope. Try to name big programs.
What about?
I'm thinking like Texas, but Darrell Royal was not a coach.
What about Mac Brown?
He was not a head coach at OU.
Mike Leach,
only head coaches.
That there's a second part to this question. Oh, wait for it. Don't anticipate the second part.
Mike Leach wasn't a head coach at OU.
No. Don't think about the head coach. Think about the program. See if you can name programs and see if you can name the one where we've had a former head coach that coached there.
Texas, Michigan, Ohio State.
Keep going.
Notre Dame.
Keep going. In the right area.
USC, Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Okay.
Lawrence Biff Jones left here to coach at Nebraska. Was a pretty notable coach at Nebraska. Not so much here.
You say so.
He was definitely behind Osborne and Delaney. So as a bonus, University of Texas head coaches with a history at OU.
Darrell Royal,
Mac
Brown.
Nailed it. Double bonus. OU head coaches who played at Texas.
OU head coaches that played at Texas?
Uh-huh.
I got nothing there.
No idea.
Mark McMahon or McHannon, I don't know. McMahon, I don't know how you pronounce it.
McMahon.
McMahon.
Oh, Mark.
Head coach at OU. He is pictured wearing his Texas football jersey. He was in the 1902 team, I believe. He was the head coach.
1902.
1902.
Okay.
Yeah, 1902.
I was like 1902. I don't know that year.
It was really early.
Pre-statehood.
It was back in Roman time.
Yeah. They're still talking about seeing Jesus and stuff.
So it's kind of interesting the number of coaches that have left and the number of coaches that haven't. I mean, that's the story of this program is the guys started and stopped here, which I think is awesome. You look at Barry Switzer, aside from going to the Cowboys, he was here. You look at Bob Stoops, obviously he was here. You have Wilkinson, he was here. Owen, he was here.
Venables feels like he's going to be here.
Venables is going to be here. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
It's going to
So,
Joe Paterno this thing.
and don't say that. Don't say that.
Without the kids. Without the
He won't be here.
He didn't know. He didn't know.
He won't be here that long.
I will actually say Joe Paul did not know about that stuff. I think. I don't know.
I will say
I
it
don't-
also
He definitely.
very much
I don't think.
overstayed his welcome.
He most definitely.
I think he overstayed his welcome. I don't think he knew. He may have turned a blind eye to something, but I don't think he knew what he's turning a blind eye to. Well, we got a lot more to talk about.
We got a playoff game next
We got a
week.
playoff game, guys. It's
We've got
on.
We've got a midweek pregame playoff game next week.
It's going to be intense. We're going to talk about locks of the week. We're going to talk about prop bets. Let's see. It's Jay gets the prop bet for the big game. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be something. I mean, we're going to know by this time next week potentially
Injury
what's going
report?
on with the injury report, what's going on with Alabama's quarterback,
We don't
what's
get an
going
injury
on with
report.
the
We don't
Bear.
get an injury report.
No, we don't. We don't.
It's all speculation.
I'm kind of scared on our side what we might be
It's an
seeing.
SEC game though.
It is an SEC
It is
game.
an SEC game.
Wow.
Maybe they're just like, hey,
Which is another thing that bugs me. They made an SEC elimination game out of this thing, and so we're
I
going to
see
lose.
two sides
a
to
team.
that. I wonder if they didn't want that at the SEC headquarters because that guarantees them a team playing the next weekend or the next set of bowls. Because if you have two
Yeah.
playing,
Well, I guess let's think about what
Like if-
in your
if
alternatives.
it could have been us versus
Miami
Miami
and
we lost.
Alabama versus Tech.
let's say,
You got to think at least one of those two teams emerges.
you would think, but it is
with a
set up
chance
now.
for both.
Yeah.
I'd take the
They could have set up the Ole Miss and Alabama like we talked about earlier, and then you'd have got a
Right.
guaranteed one on that side.
right.
But-
I mean, and that'd be better because it wouldn't be a rematch. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the SEC had their hands in the mechanism to really change things the way they might want it to have
I mean,
changed.
you may
It
have
comes off as it comes off as very biased,
because
The whole
you'll
thing.
have
and it sucks.
It does
a
suck.
good chance of 4 SEC teams playing out of the next weekend.
Yes.
Well, and that's part
Which
of
you
my.
mean. Cool.
You
Yeah,
have
and
A&M, OU, Georgia, and Ole Miss.
I mean, if you could have figured out how to pit,
Good chance of that.
yeah, if you could have figured out how to pit Bama against anybody that's non-SEC,
Right.
you're going to pull 5 teams into the next round, or yeah, as part of the next
Tech would have
round.
been,
Would have
Tech
taken.
would have been.
Potentially, as part
What
of
would it have taken then for that to have happened though? In the
They would have
SEC.
had to drop.
No, I don't mean in the last decision. I mean for like SEC play, how could that have even happened? Because you would have had a really good team. You would have needed a really good team. You needed an Indiana Ohio State situation, a really good team, or at least one of them to. I guess A&M. You needed A&M to actually be undefeated, beat Texas.
Yeah.
And even then, it wouldn't exactly have done it.
Because then,
Yeah, and
Georgia
The SEC's too good.
Yeah.
Georgia would have beat them. They might have gone 3.
The only way, I mean, as it stands right now, the only way that you could have all SEC teams in the first round advancing is if Bama would have dropped to 12, which would mean that James Madison and Tulane
Yeah, that ain't happening.
would have been 10 and 11, and you had Bama playing Oregon. And then you would have-
If
you would
Alabama
have
would have,
potentially 5 teams in the second round.
if Alabama would have beaten Georgia,
Bama would have beaten Georgia, so Bama moves up to what, 7?
oh, I think they'd move beyond that based on what we saw. 5, yeah,
Even Georgia at 6 probably.
yeah, something like that.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss,
You probably still get you get an SEC one-on-one in the first round regardless.
Yeah, we might have actually lost our home field, but you'd have
We would
Yeah.
have.
5, 6,
No,
7, 8, 9,
I
10,
no, we would.
No, we talked about that.
or
before.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
We
Yeah.
would have. I mean, Bama losing was the best thing. Bama and BYU losing was the best thing that could have happened to us.
Probably. We
I
don't know.
really
With this
think-
committee, I don't know.
I
But
really
yeah,
think so.
I think you're
But
probably right.
because my thought is, I think the committee would have looked at any reason for bumping us down based on
No, I think you're right.
based on national commentary and everything else. Like it would say,
I was
we
really
had
delighted
every
when we were
reason.
like a lock, and they were like, "Well, no, Oklahoma's in, and let's determine the stuff that's up for grabs."
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and then
okay.
you get selfish. It's like I'm super glad we're in the playoff, but now I'm a host. Like,
Yeah,
don't
absolutely.
don't take that.
But we
No, Jay
deserve
wanted to
to
go on
host.
the road because we're tougher
Right.
on the road.
You see, tougher on the road,
Jay
and you
wants
want to play the
Jay wants to
toughest
play
team.
James Madison.
He wants to
Or
play no,
doesn't
he wants to play a Big Ten All-Star team
Yeah.
again.
Jay wants
on
to
the
play
road.
Georgia in the first round.
Yeah.
And he's
On
still
the-
scared of Arkansas.
Well, thankfully, we're not playing Arkansas.
Yep.
Well, we're going to be back
Or
in
any
the
eighth grade
midweek.
teams.
We're going to be back in the midweek to talk about all of that.
We want
talk about-
roses. Hey,
hey.
rose is my favorite word right now.
Yeah,
I love roses. I love rose. Hey,
Yeah.
let's just go for it.
go for the roses,
Let's
baby.
go for the roses.
All right. Well, let's do all that. We'll talk about in the midweek. We'll talk about what it's going to take for OU to beat Alabama and advance. It's all about survive and advance at this point.
Robin Van.
Until then, Boomer.
Sooner.